Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how I deal, or what's the best way I think you should deal with depression. So the last video I talked about why I quit my job and a little bit about my thoughts about the future. So if it interests you, then please check it out. So when I talk about depression, I mean diagnosed depression. So if you think you have a depression, then please go to someone who actually deals with depression, who can diagnose it, because you can diagnose yourself, okay? So I recommend you to go to a psychiatrist or a therapist and do it before watching the video. So the first thing that I think that you need to know is telling someone. First, when you deal with depression, you need to tell someone. You don't have to bear it alone by yourself. Think about it. If you hide it, don't expect someone to help you with it, because obviously they won't know if you won't tell them. When I had a depression, a big one, a few years ago, I hid it for a few months. It happened to me during high school and no one knew at that time. I felt ashamed without a reason to be ashamed. I didn't tell my parents or anyone. Even my best friends didn't even know about it, till it got to a point where I just couldn't bear it by myself. So I read a letter to my therapist and she had to send it to my parents, and I knew that she is going to send it because I didn't say positive things on the letter. Maybe I will even do a whole nother video about my experience with depression, but only that way my parents knew about what I was going through. And after that, I saw how it's easier to me, because I didn't have to bear it by myself anymore. Even if you think that even with telling someone the pain won't go away, then you're wrong. I mean, the pain will stay there, but the majority of it will go away, because when you tell someone, it doesn't stay with you anymore and you will have a relief. So the first thing is telling someone. The second thing that I will recommend is doing things that makes you happy. For example, I always tend to watch my K-dramas, and it doesn't have to be K-dramas. It can be anything that you like, from shows to songs that you like, to hobbies, maybe sports, maybe writing, singing, dancing. It doesn't matter as long as you like doing it, because when you are depressed, you are unmotivated and there's nothing that you want to do. So what helps is finding someone that you like to do and doing it. The third thing that I would recommend is accepting your feelings and not running away from them. When we feel a specific emotion, people tend to run away from their feelings or deny it or think of it as it's non-exist. But I think when it comes to depression, when you try to deny that kind of emotion, it only gets you to a worse place and it becomes heavier. Because think about it, when people deal with emotion and sometimes they lock them inside, eventually those emotions will need to come out. I think as emotion as some kind of energy, so obviously when a lot of energy comes together, at some point they will need to come out some way. So when you accept those emotions and you don't try to deny or hide them, it becomes easier to you to deal with them. The fourth thing that I would recommend is understanding why you feel that way. Think to yourself, did something unusual happen? Try to identify the trigger, because there's always a one. And if you think to yourself, no, there isn't the one, and you are just always depressed without a reason, just ask yourself why. Why are you depressed all the time? What are your expectations from yourself that makes you feel that way? And maybe they are too high for you. For example, in the past I used to have a lot of depression episodes, and for years I didn't understand why they came. But after getting a therapist and starting to think about why it's happening and really get and feel my emotions and starting to understand what I've been through and accept it, only then I realized why. In my case, it was because of self-hate and things that other people told me and I believed them, and since I had no one to talk to, I locked those emotions inside me and eventually they needed to come out. So they always came out in the depression when I felt like I don't want to do anything and I was so unmotivated with nothing I want to do. The 5th and last thing I would recommend is understanding that it passes. Me and my therapist, we always talked about how depression comes in waves. Depression doesn't disappear, and we need to learn to live with it. When you get a depression, think of it as something temporarily that you experience, and like everything in life, it will pass too. The only thing that changes is us. We get stronger or weaker with each time. It's our choice to think which one are we. I, however, like to think about it as stronger with each time. Seeing the tough times that we've been through makes us realize how strong we are. After every episode, I always ask myself what I've learned, because in life, you learn new things every day about yourself, about the world. It took me a lot of years to start love myself. Throughout my whole life, I heard other people comments about my walk, about my insecurities, the way I talk, about my voice, about my non-existent confidence. People would point those things all the time just to make me hate myself. And when you hate yourself, they won. And you don't want them to win, because you are not a loser. What we've been through only made us stronger. And I know the world is not a fair place. Sometimes I even ask myself how I, a person who likes to help everyone and be nice to everyone, and if there's anything that I can help someone with, I help them. But still, people would let their anger on me without even a specific reason, and to be honest with you, it doesn't even matter. So I would ask why I deserve it. The answer is no one deserves it. And honestly, we don't have anyone to ask. The only thing that we can do is grow stronger from it. Learn to love yourself. You don't deserve what happened to you. No one do. But when you accept what you have been through and stop thinking, what if I did that? Or what if I had more friends? What if at that time I would answer that way instead of that way? Those things doesn't matter. It already happened and you are here right now in the current time, and that's what you need to worry about. So that was the video for today. I hope it helped you in any way. If you like this video and if it helped you, you can like this video in the like button. Feel free to share your thoughts and experience down in the comments below. I would love to read it. And I will see you guys in the next time. Bye guys. Which side is better? This one or that one? I think this one, right?